He's the start of this team. I think this is, it feels like 2012 all over again. And y'all can, I don't want to talk about that game. You can go back and figure it out. But this was so similar. And I mean, there was not a guy on that sidelines that we were connected to that thought we weren't going to win that football game. And all the way till we didn't.
Pete Carroll talking about the outcome of Sunday's game at Green Bay. He said it felt like 2012 all over again. During the 2018 season, Peter, I spoke to Russell Wilson after they beat the Lions 28-14 on the road, and we started to take the Seahawks seriously at a time when many thought they were going to have a down year and they were rebuilding. Wilson told me then it feels like 2012. So it's always going to feel like 2012 until the year they win the Super Bowl, because that's what 2013 brought. And I feel like they're not far away. And there were some comments yesterday from Russell Wilson where he is determined to get back and win it. I just don't know what more they need to get there. Wilson acknowledged they need some other pieces. And obviously the defense isn't what it was back when they were a Super Bowl team. But to have Russell Wilson playing at a high level, making things happen when nothing is there, that's something that few teams have, and that's something that makes it easier to build around.
Mike, I think that the most important piece they need walked up to John Schneider's office at the close of business yesterday in Renton, Washington, and thanked him for the experience, A, of trading for him, and B, the experience of being able to play for the Seahawks. And that's Jadeveon Clowney. The Seahawks, whether it's Clowney, I mean, Clowney could get stupid money somewhere. I'm not sure if he will, but he could. And I don't think Schneider wants to pay him stupid money. I think Schneider would like to convince him this is a place where you're going to win a championship. And yeah, you can go probably make more money elsewhere. But I think this is going to be, in my opinion, I think John Schneider, his moves in 2019, he is my executive of the year. And to repeat that, I think he's got to convince Clowney to come in for a contract that the team's going to be able to live with in 2020.
And Peter, you spoke earlier about analytics pointing to the scarcity of highly competent defensive backs as being more valuable, making them more valuable because there are more pass rushers out there, but there are few who have the potential, when the planets align perfectly, to be as disruptive as Jadeveon Clowney can be. The problem is, it's like seeing Bigfoot, right? It doesn't happen very often. When it happens, it's magical. And that's really the question a team has to ask. He had 3 sacks. He missed 5 games. But the performance he put on the night they beat the 49ers was a rare thing to behold. How much do you pay for that? And it's almost as if the Seahawks need to see what someone else would pay for it before they make a decision. And even though they can't use the franchise tag, they could use the transition tag on Jadeveon Clowney, giving them a right to match. So they could see, hey, you use a transition tag, he's guaranteed to make very good money, and he has the right to see what's out there. And if someone wants to put together an offer, if the Seahawks look at it and say, yeah, you know what, we need him enough, we're going to pay that, so be it. That may be how this one plays out.
Yeah, and I think the other thing you need to do, Mike, you mentioned it, you may also need to sculpt your contract sort of more than many contracts that you do. You may need to do your contract in a way that a lot of the money is going to be on the come, and that you have it be an incentive-laden contract so that, for instance, he would make what the top free agents would make at that position if he plays 16 games and gets 15 sacks or whatever escalate or whatever incentives are built in there. And you can also obviously use that contract and compare it to some of the other contracts. I think John Schneider has been really imaginative on some of the deals that he's done. And in my opinion, he's going to have to get imaginative to keep Jadeveon Clowney from going somewhere else.
And the key for Clowney is this. If you're going to do that, if you're going to have an incentive-laden deal, do a 1-year contract, not a 3-year deal. Get back to the market if you have that big year in 2020 so you can get that reward, that long-term contract he never got with the value that he should have gotten as the first overall pick in the draft because he entered the league 3 years after the NFL cut back dramatically on what guys make when they are taken number 1 overall. And I feel bad for him. He's never gotten that big money multi-year deal, Peter. He's a great player, but injuries have been a major factor.
Well, I don't feel bad for him because if he was a great player who wasn't injured a lot and who also performed more consistently in Houston than he did, then he would have gotten that contract. And so I don't feel bad for him. If he's great, he'll get his money.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.